let anything win but my drive to get me to the top.
Frank Lee made the beat.
What it do, KTTV? This is KT, and I'm coming at you live with another episode of the Daily K Podcast. And on today's episode, look, I know I ended the season last week, but when it comes down to the community, we are starting the Outside the Season series, and our first guest is Mr. Emmanuel Kalamba from Emka Vision nonprofit organization. How you doing today, Mr. Emmanuel?
Doing great. I'm very, very good.
Look, man, I want to say thank you for taking some time out to talk about what you have going on as far as in the community, putting this rally together. But even more of that, man, just getting the word out about the awesome things that you are doing in our community, brother.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very honor to be on this show. I heard you say that I'm like the first guest, so it's a great pleasure for me to do that.
Yeah, man, I wanted to do some things because, like I said, we run the season, and it's about 12 to 14 shows, but sometimes, man, we get events like this during the summertime because I take off. You know, being an educator, I try to take off, but when we got stuff outside the season like this, we got to get it out there to the community, man. So we'll come back and work a little bit for you.
Yes,
That's what's going on, brother. So, man, before we get into things, you know, it's been crazy this past year and a half. How have you been doing, brother, and been staying safe out here?
Yeah, I've been good. I've been, following all the instructions that the government, kind of portray, and also try to put work in because I know that we have the capability of doing things, but there are certain people like out there who don't necessarily have the capability to do so. So we were able to go out and then help them out so that the same way we save, the same way we want everybody to be saved.
Yeah, yes, sir. Gotta make sure that's one big piece, man. In order to help somebody, you must first take care of yourself, right? Oh, yes, man. Sir. So give us a little bit of background on you, and how the Emka Vision organization even came about.
Well, it's very simple. I'm a very simple person. I really, start off my father was a missionary for once, and he, basically was going out there around the world and, basically putting work for God. And that kind of I kind of grew up with that idea, and then he fired me. So I got inspired by him, by all the work that he did, so that, whenever I start growing, then I realized that, that's something that I want to do. And what a better way to do so than to start off with a nonprofit. Basically able to help out other people because, it started with help, get passionate. And then once you got that passion, then it's from there. So that's how we started. And, and then ever since we never looked back.
That's what it's about, brother. That's what it's about. And so, understanding that that's happening and understanding how hard it is to set up that nonprofit organization. What is, I guess, one of the biggest challenges that you faced in setting up Emka Vision, and how did you overcome something like that?
Well, the biggest challenge to really, not just the Emka Vision, but to a lot of nonprofit and profit organization is support of people. So, how when you started, you have people they'll doubt you and they'll not take you seriously, but it's up to you to basically able to go forward. You have to be able to be passionate in what you do. And once you have that passion, then you're determined to go forward. So everything on the outside doesn't concern you or doesn't really distract you. So despite all the things that's been said and all the challenges that's pulling you down, as much passionate you are able to go through it. And then, so you eliminate all the negativity that's around it so that you can move forward with positivity.
Yeah, man. I was listening to something the other day, man. It said for the next year, all negative vibes are cut off.
That's right.
We want to shut it down, man. It's time to focus, man, because I understand exactly what you're saying. I talk to so many people all the time, and it's just, how do you push through those voices? And sometimes it takes losing friends. It takes just turning a different page, man. So I commend you for doing that.
Yeah, the thing is, when you start something, you want your first supporter to be, your friends and then the one that's close by. So once you got that down, then you get the confidence to go forward. But once you have like people around you that's not really supporting you the way they should have, and then it's kind of like it's kind of like how black businesses is, we don't really support each other. We rather support other businesses, but when it comes to the black community, we just happen to just have anything to say toward that specific business. So we don't get the support that we need, therefore we're still lacking behind. But if we do get the support that we need, then everything will go through smoothly.
Everything, man. And there's so much work to do in getting that support. And I know you're doing a lot with our youth. And so, like I say, as an administrator, as an educator, I commend you for that, right?
Thank you.
And from what I'm seeing, man, from the research I'm doing, the vision is global, brother.
That's right.
And so, how are you? You think about how you say, Dad, man, went all around the world. And so, how are you tying that vision up and tying both worlds together and meeting the needs around the world, but still kind of keeping it here in the SWAT?
Well, our main goal is education. So education is a universal language where, no matter where you are, you should be able to focus more on education. So our main thing is we want to make sure that everybody, whether you are in America or you are in Africa, wherever you are putting all your energy toward education, because education is what makes you somebody tomorrow. People tend to basically saying that education, you can succeed so many ways without education, but at the end of the day, when you look deep into it, you realize that you will need education to go forward, no matter what. Whether you become a celebrity through being an athlete or an entertainer or whatever. At the end of the day, you will still have to go back to school or do some type of education to move forward. Because if you think about it, even if you don't get to if you drop out of school, for example, and you end up in successful, like you want to say, at the end of the day, you're gonna either pay somebody that went to school to do your work, or you're gonna have to go back to school to be able to understand what's going on out there. So that's why education is more important. So it don't really matter where you are, whether you're here or in Africa or in Asia. At the end of the day, you still have to focus on the education. So once we have that main goal, we are able to tie it down everywhere.
And as you work with that education, what are some of the projects that you all have been doing at Emka Vision to kind of tie into that main goal?
So right now we because we literally started even though it's been 3 years, we basically designing a lot of programs and stuff like that for what's coming up. But right now, we're working toward getting our paperwork straight. We try to make sure that we have all the documents that's required to be able to move forward. So we use that 3 years to start to basically make sure that we have all the necessity for a nonprofit organization, and then after that, then we're gonna start implementing program to different school district, and then whether it's here and also in Africa.
Man, come on, man, and that's gonna be something, bro.
Yes,
Because
sir.
just like you say, education. Another thing that we do know is global, is the concept of bullying, right? And so
Right.
whether that's online bullying, or whether you, like you say, through the asylum, through the refugees, that's bullying because of the outside. Um, I know firsthand the importance of awareness, and as well as being proactive with our actions. So before we jump into the event itself, what prompted you to say this was the time for this rally? And what is the why really of putting it together?
Well, that's something that I actually worked on it for the past year. I really wanted to do that program. It was supposed to be done a little early on, but as you know, COVID came in and messed everything up. So we have to push everything down for the next year. So we realized that this is a very important time because, I usually say, Houston is a very, very, very diverse city. The beauty of it is that you have anybody, yeah, everybody from all over the world that live in Houston, and we have several refugee organization that's working out there with refugees and immigrants and stuff like that. So because of the diversity, we want to make sure that we are able to put um, the education that we want out there, so that people can understand the importance of cultural education, and then avoid being bullied based on the culture. It's basically like, if you're a black man in America, you really suffer with racism and stuff like this, and we want to make sure that people are educated, because the more ignorant you are, the easier it is for you to bully somebody, because you don't know exactly what's going on to that particular person. So we want to make sure that, with the time, with the time that's going on right now, we want to make sure it's the perfect time for us to be able to bring everybody from all over the world to understand the importance of cultural education and bullying, so we can all fight, or we can fight against bullying, really.
Yeah. And did you, like, coming up, did you have any personal experience with going through that?
Me personally don't have a experience, but I know lots of people that have experienced that type of bullying, and then it's not just people from afar; it's really people that are close to me. They happen to suffer such a thing. So it helps me, my eyes be wide open, so that whenever I see these things, and if I have the power to fight it, that's one of the reasons why I'm also trying to like start this event, so that I can fight what I saw that was not right.
Yeah. Okay. Well, look, this is what we'll do, man. I want to get into the event, but what we'll do is take a quick second and get a word from our sponsor,
Okay.
and then we'll come back, man. We're going to talk about these event
No
specifically,
problem.
brother. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. Man, look, have you ever had a flavor pickle? You heard me? Have you ever had one? A flavor pickle, bro?
I don't think so.
Look, man, the guy just ran the ad. He does flavor pickles, and it's called Frickles. Dude, we talking about 100 locations here in Houston, man, where people are buying man, canned, I mean bottled sliced pickles in like apple or either alcohol. And dude, when you talk
Yeah,
about innovation,
I heard about that. I have a lot of people that had their first experience was like, they were
yeah,
shocked at first about pickle. Then once they got it, so hopefully it's good. I never tried it
hey,
personally, but from what
hey,
I heard, it's good. So
hey, I'll get you
we'll
in the
see.
game, man.
All right, we'll
So,
see.
man,
It don't hurt to try.
hey, so now, man, getting into this event itself,
Okay.
kind of tell us, where is the event and what made you kind of put it in the community where it's at? Was it any specific reason you put it there?
Well, the event will be happening at Brentwood Park. The reason why is because it's area that's like close by certain area where they have bunch of refugees and immigrants. So
Mhm.
it'll make sense for them to be able to like have a park close by, and then they can all come down and then be part of the event.
Yeah, okay. And so then, speaking of that and that area, are you looking at the future to like partner with schools, with educational facilities, as far as to go in and kind of target the people in that community?
Yeah, that's been our goal for from since the beginning. We really wanted to like partner with school and different organizations to kind of like
Hmm.
implement programs that would be able to like teach or at least showcase cultural education, so that people, 'cause like I said earlier, since Houston being a very diverse city, it's important that we are able to understand and know everybody's culture, so that we don't firstly, judge somebody based on, the what we see, because we tend to do that a lot. So it's
Yeah,
easier to be able to like do that with school, because once the school system is into that, and then they start teaching and showing all this stuff, and then it will also eliminate a lot of like things, especially the bullying part.
yes, sir. And it's all about being proactive with that stuff, man,
Right.
and having people just really understand the power of that. I know each year at my school we start off with the staff. We talk about bullying and we talk about students who kill themselves to kind of create that empathy, because you have to create that sense of urgency within that class, within that group, so that you can kind of let them know beforehand, because their reaction here is always rough. By the time they come see me, it's a
Right.
problem. Man, and so not only is this about anti-bullying, but like you said, it's also about cultural education on that day as well. We, like you say, immigrants, refugees, and asylum, you want them to become more proud of their culture. So what are
Right.
some of the ways you work with this demographic to accomplish that feeling?
Right. So before I want to go into that, I want to say this, right? There was a time where when I was in high school, um, I had a couple of friends that were bullied because of, they came from Africa, right?
Mhm.
And people would chase them around, and just to beat them up, and just because of where they were from.
Mhm.
Now, the reason why is because the people that were beating them up they were ignorant to the fact that they didn't really understand or know a lot about the African culture. So to them, all they knew was, how content of Africa was portrayed. So because of that, then they start, little by little, they start bullying those people. And that's kind of like one of the reasons why we doing the event. And also, it's not just African, but you have like some after 9/11, you have people of Arab descent that were
Mhm.
targeted because of the way they were dressed. People will just start judging them based on what they dress, and immediately they'll be called like terrorists
Yeah.
and stuff like this. These are words that they can. It's very, very not tolerable. So because of those two experiences that I've witnessed, kind of like pushed me, even harder to be able to like do that event.
Yeah, man.
So that's kind of like the main background of what we're trying to do.
Yeah, and it's so
Yeah.
so necessary, man. When I'm looking at kids, who come in, like let's just say, some of my Nigerian kids, and so they're coming into school in the U.S. and it's a total shock for them. Just as far as really what they get to do, the movement of it. But kids don't understand. They come in heavy accents a lot of the times, and so you put a kid like that in third or fourth grade class, and then that beginning where he's shamed for that heavy accent or for his dress, like
Yeah.
that is bad from day one, right? And so then that automatically takes
Right.
you out of your zone, and then that kid has to fight his way back all school year, man. So awesome at what
That's
you're
right.
doing, man. So talk to us about the event, man. What's the flow of the day? What can attendees expect from the rally, and what can they take back into the community from this?
So we're able to be working with three different former refugees that came down here as refugees, and then they worked their way up, and then today they are that we have a one that's educator. They will come down and speak. So we'll have speakers. Firstly, kind of like get the mood into what cultural education is, and then once we have the speaker down, we'll have a few small games, and we'll provide food for everybody to eat. But our main goal is basically for people to come down and listen to the stories and also share their stories, because it's better when you share your story, because you never know who you might help by sharing
Yeah,
your story. So, once the speaker will talk, and then we'll have a few games to just entertain the mass, and they'll have food, drinks, and then we'll after that, and then we'll basically like talk about our organization and what is it about, and then just to make sure that people are aware of what we're doing in the communities.
yeah, yeah. That's cool, man. And so I know you said it's here in Houston, and
Right?
also in New York. Yeah, and so then
Yeah.
and looking at that,
Yeah, we have a great teams in New York. We also have teams in about at least 5 to 7 countries in Africa. We have
mhm.
one in Ivory Coast, one in Congo, one in Mali, Burkina Faso, Madagascar, and Guinea. So
Man,
we all over the place, and then we basically working toward different needs depending on the country. So we educating young female in Congo, for example, because about sexual disease and all that stuff like that, because those are the topics that's really really taboo in Africa.
Yeah.
People don't talk about it, so we are able to. We have a whole lot of teams. They're mostly doctors. So they'll come down and then speak and then educate those young girls, mostly orphans. They'll kind of like get into their mood. So we kind of like, like I said, based on the country, we all have, every country have their own reality. And
Yeah.
based on their reality, we kind of like work toward that reality so that we can come up with something educated.
And that's what it's about, man. Meeting people where they are, and understanding the needs of the people. I did a show earlier today, with Joy, and speaking of Joy, and it was about connecting, right? And so the biggest thing was, how do you connect with those people? You got to learn them, you got to understand them, and then you got to meet them where they at, with feeling that void, man. So
That's
I
right.
commend you for that work, brother.
Thank you. Thank you.
Come on, man. So how can they find the information? How can they learn more about the business, the vision, and support?
Well, right now, like we're working toward our website, so we're mostly focusing on our Facebook page and Instagram page. Our Facebook page is just Emka Vision, and our Instagram is at Emka Vision NGO. Just type that, and you should be able to see our information. We do have an email, which is emkavision underscore emkavisionngo.org. If you have anything that you want to know, you just email us, and then we'll be able to like answer back as soon as possible. So, those are the ways for information so far. But once we got the website up and running, then we should be able to like put everything out there.
Yeah. Now, I can't let you go, man, without giving us some words of inspiration here, man. And I'm gonna keep it in your arena, because I think about those kids who come to school, man, and they face that adversity of being seen different, and they go through that bullying, man. Let's say we got a group of people who going through that. What do you tell those students, man, on how to really waver through that negativity and survive?
Well, you have to be yourself at all time. Me, being like I said, I mentioned earlier, my father being a missionary, we were educated through the church. So one thing we know that's very important in our life is to put God first. Once you put God first, you should be able to get that confidence in yourself. Because if you have God on your side, you have the victory. So the victory that you have brings confidence, and then the confidence that you have will allow you to go through any negativity. So despite everything that will be said, you should be able to be confident because you already have the victory when you have God.
Yeah, man, come on, man.
So,
That's come on, brother. Don't drop it on me like that, man.
yeah, don't make
So
me
before
preach
we
right
get out
now.
of here, hey. So, man, before we get out of here, one last time, why should I attend this rally? And give me the date and information one more time.
Well, like I say, we live in a world where, as black men, we already there's a stigma or there's like a period on ourselves, on our back. And that period comes from ignorance. It's people that don't know the culture, people that don't know anything about us. The only way they can feel better about themselves is to say negativity or say something bad so that they feel good about themselves. And once they learn the culture, once they learn about our culture, and they realize that we also are human just like them, then it stopped the racism, it stopped the bullying. Same thing applies to our event. We have people that come from different parts of the world, are refugees. We don't know what they went through to their country. Some of them come from places where they have war. Some come from places where they are being a target. The government are looking for them, and they all have suffering. So when they come to the United States for refuge, they come because America is portrayed as the land of opportunity. So those people come down here to get that opportunity, and it's hard for them to be able to go through that if as soon as they get here, they get targeted or they get pushed back because of ignorance. Because people don't
Yeah.
understand their culture, people don't understand what they go through. People just don't understand that. They just go off of what they hear on TVs or on the news, and then that's how they start bullying those people. So it's important for anybody to really come down to the event so that they can learn. Instead of being not knowing what's going on, it's better that you come down and learn so that you can, whenever at the end of the event, you go home knowing that that person went through these things and that thing, and it came down here looking for an opportunity, just like we come down. We all the years of suffering of racism and stuff like that. We also all we want is opportunity. So
Yeah.
if all we want is opportunity, and you are a Black man in America, you should be able to come down to our event, because you will understand that all they want as well is opportunity, because America is the land of opportunity. Everyone wants to succeed. It's easier to succeed here. All we need is just one chance, and that one chance,
Yeah.
we have to take it. So it's important for everybody to come down. I want everybody to come to the event so that they can learn about different culture. Houston is a diverse city. Come down, learn about a culture from Africa, from the Middle East, from South America, even from America. Learn your culture so that tomorrow you will not be ignorant, but you will be able to learn something and understand your neighbor, so that you can love them just like you love yourself.
Man, that was powerful right there, brother. And then now give us the date one more time and the location.
The date is the 26th of June 26, 2021. It will be at 11 a.m. It will be at Brentwood Park.
Man, that's it, brother. Well, like I say, I appreciate you taking some time to get that out to the community. I look forward to sharing, like I say, the video, the clips, the flyers with people, because cultural education is very important. And then just being proactive on saving lives, man. We just young people who going through things, and being able to talk to them about even the people who going through things, that's there to say something to somebody, to reach out, to get that help if you are being bullied, So big shouts out to everything you got going. I look forward to watching the vision unfold. I know that paperwork is very important, so I commend you for taking time to slow down and start going fast. So, man, take care of business. But man, you got our support, brother. Man,
yes,
that'll
thank
do
you
it.
for
All
the
right.
support. Thank you so much. Before we go, can I make a big shout out right now?
Yeah, man.
I just want to shout out to my whole team of Emka Vision. Shout out to Christian Yapi. Shout out to Yves Durand from Ivory Coast. Shout out to Dr. Nella, Dr. Namsa, Dr. Nida, Muriel. Shout out to Grace Dak. And shout out to everybody that's helping Emka Vision. I know we just started. It's getting there. We're working hard. Even with everything that's going on with COVID, we're still working out. We want to make sure that everybody's great, so that we can give hope to people, so that we can all understand the importance of humanity. We all will survive.
Man, that's it, brother. Well, I appreciate it, man.
No problem.
That's
Thank you
it.
so much for having me. Thank you.
Yeah, this is KT for our first episode of Outside the Season. Signing out, 100.
This is Darnell with Broadcast Houston.
This is Dr. Tamara Beckford.
Hey, this is Candace.
This is London Underwood.
This is Kirsten Bass with Inner City Greens, and you're watching.
Y'all are now tuned in to
KTTV.
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 KT